We want to do something very special for the 25th anniversary, and I think we've got something like really special. 5 Caldecott honors, Caldecott Medal, 5 Coretta Scott King Awards, 4 Coretta Scott King honors, 5 New York Times Best Illustrated Book Awards, 4 gold medals, 4 silver medals from the Society of Illustrators, a Boston Globe Horn Book Award, a great show at the Norman Rockwell Museum, the first illustrator ever honored with a full-scale retrospective at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. I followed this man around begging him for years. Finally, he thought that if he didn't allow us to show his work, I would never leave him alone. He was right. And he will also be doing the Burrell Lecture at the Carl Museum, April 25th. And he's here also with Gloria Jean. His son Brian are here, so it's great to have the family join us. And more important than any of that, and this is really true and from my heart, he is the nicest guy. I mean, really. I mean, the art is something, but he's a really nice guy. I give you Jerry Pinkney.
I suspect you guys are all having a good time. I am. The interesting thing is that I've been to these events a couple times, I think, and Rich has this way of after the event taking photographs, and I've always been in them. It was kind of weird because I wasn't in the exhibition, but there I was smiling, drinking wine, and having a good time. And he's right, he's been after me for a while, and I think there are 2 factors here that are both, I think, equally important. One is I wasn't sure about how to handle this body of work, and I certainly wanted it, wherever it was going to go, that I felt that the person on the other end exhibiting it and putting the work out there had to have a similar passion, and I hadn't found that over the years. And I might have been just not a little gun shy because the few galleries, they've been okay, but I wanted something more. And I think it was about matching what I was beginning to think about myself. And I say beginning to think about myself. And there was I came up with some work. No, we met at the Norman Rockwell. We had dinner there, exactly. And through the conversation, there was something starting to happen, something that started to make me feel good and better. Then it was a trip up to visit with some work, and then again another lunch. We do a lot of that kind of stuff, eating. But it was at that point I thought that, you know what, there's something happening here, not only a respect, but a trust, but there was a kind of a kinship. And a lot of the story, the conversation was about stories about each other. And I thought, you know, this guy is not only interested in the work, but he's also interested in me. And I think that did it. We talked about some other things. One thing was that I said, okay, but Rich, I'm doing these pastels. I've never done pastels before. I want them to be a part of the show. And he was very gracious and said yes, you know, having not seen them at one point. But he was willing, I guess this is the key, he was willing to go out there on the limb to see, in fact, whether he could have something gel that wasn't in place before. And we both went into it with that kind of spirit. And I think with that kind of spirit, it made it make sense. In other words, it had to be part of the work. The exhibit had to be part of the body of work and what I felt about my work. And it's here tonight. And look at the exhibition. It's beautifully hung. I couldn't ask for more. He had a surprise for me because I think I gained one gallery, an extra gallery, since our last conversation. But the other part of this whole evening, of course, is Julius Lester. I'm not going to steal your thunder, but a man certainly that I've just have great respect for as a person, as an artist, And I think oftentimes it's amazing to have the question posed, well, what about your favorite books? And I start rattling off, and I realize that the author is the same author. And it has been Julius. And he's always been able to push me in a kind of an interesting way. And we've just grown to be real good friends and important. So that's sort of the kind of icing on the cake tonight, to be here. Julius receiving honors, and our show, our work being represented here.